In our case, I think really we believe that canals are not rounded, fully shaped, so you want to fill voids and you want to fill certain areas. So warm obturation allows to fill these spaces. We liked the Calamus unit as a unit when it was available, corded. Okay, so we were actually switching to a cordless unit as soon as cordless units were available, especially on the microscope, having things and working forehanded. But as we actually had the ability now with Gutta-Smart to get back our Calamus unit and a cordless feature, it's something that was for us a no-brainer to actually have a unit now that takes us back to the features of the Calamus, but now in a cordless form. Yes, it makes my work easier. Yeah, because the traditional way you have a cordless gun that you might have a tip that swivels, which was nice, it was a big difference. In the beginning it was a gun that would just be there with a rigid tip and you'd be actually turning the whole unit. The next thing is that you swivel it. Yeah, but in this case, because you can turn it just like a pen, there's no need for this top part to swivel because it rotates like a pen. Yeah, so that makes it easier on our hand. I think the unit has a comfortable weight to it. Yeah, I would expect there's a battery in it to have it. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. It's actually something I feel very comfortable. If it's too light, it often actually happens that assistants don't necessarily pay attention or handle it a certain way. I think it has a very comfortable weight to it. The handling of the unit is very easy. It really has a pen design I would compare it to. So no matter how much you rotate it, depending where the tooth is on the upper or the lower, your trigger, your button is not a single button. It's really a cuff that goes around it. So no matter how you rotate it, you will be able to activate the extrusion. Having that cuff all the way around allows you to really position the device foremost without paying attention to where the actual trigger is to button it. For example, having a unit that you have to extrude in a gun form, it's sometimes going to be very uncomfortable even splitting or splitting or swiveling the needle. In this case, you get to a press position and then you trigger in any position you are. The cartridges to refill really the same as the Calamus unit. You know, what we found is to take the cartridges out after they're bent and customized, it's very, very helpful to straighten them out first and then they literally fall out. You know, we found that most assistants will try in the beginning to push them out, but the best thing is just straighten them back out and they fall right out ready for the new cartridge. There's plenty of pressure of backflow after you fill the canal. In our case, I really like small gauges, so we use a 25 gauge most of the time. Even on the smallest size, the 25 gauge, there's plenty of back pressure to really back us out of the canal as we extrude. A certain weight is important, because if there is weight balance to it, it makes us more precise. In this case, we're obturating, okay, so it's not as critical as with other tasks, but there's a comfortable feel to it. I really feel the weight is there, okay. If more weight would be necessary, put it in the battery power, but it's something, it's absolutely comfortable using the unit. It really holds up well. One of the biggest challenges I had with some of the cordless units that we had before, they would break down. We really would have to buy them very often. The housing would crack, things would literally break. And assistants always took good care of it, but no matter how we handled them, they really broke more than we anticipated. It was important, it was an essential tool for us that we would replace them frequently. We have the impression now as we work that it's actually been holding up a long time. We also found that it actually helps with plastic. There are different wipes. Now, if you look at the alcohol content, if you look at the actual content of the disinfectant wipe, that allows you to maintain plastic longer. I think I would draw the parallel to an ultrasonic tip. You don't want to connect the tip and trigger the ultrasonic tip. It's actually very detrimental. Your tip could actually break very, very quickly. You want to activate and use it. Okay, so the dry fire, I think, is the same thing. You would possibly, I could imagine, overheat the tip using it that fashion and probably prolongs the life of it. Okay, so if it means that you need to use it really as you introduce it. In comparison, that's actually one of the biggest differences that I found on the heat tip, is it heats up much faster and much more focused at the tip where things really sear off. Before I found very often it's more of an even hit alongside the tip. So this actually reminded me back of some of the original units that were corded. So we're actually happy with that tip. If the patients find there's an automatic device that takes us to the next step and we can communicate this, patients will perceive it. The device does have a noise to it as it extrudes, so I think it's actually important to let the patient know that that's what we're doing so they're not wondering what the noise is. But once you explain it, it's just one more technological step to the next step that they can appreciate.